Sad thing is we got tyranny everywhere. We got tyrants running amok. Got tyrants in local government, tyrants wearing a badge, tyrants with a wig on and acting as a judge in the courts, tyrants living next door. Everybody thinks that it's their right to be a tyrant because America. They're not even patriots. They don't understand what civic duty is. And civic duty is part of being an American. It's part of the freedom that you are guaranteed, is that you are left to do so much of the work. You are left with so much of the responsibility as the citizen. But so many citizens want to turn their back on that responsibility, and they want to claim that the color red or the color blue is more important. Keep it rural, my foot. This ain't rural. This is suburb. I'm literally out here 20 minutes, 25 minutes from Atlanta, depending on traffic, and they want to call it rural. I get you look around and you see some cow pastures and whatever, but that don't make it rural. Keep it rural. It's a rural character. See, let me tell you something, all right? Yeah, I'm on a dirt road. I'm 20 minutes from downtown Newnan right now, about the same distance from downtown Atlanta. And they want to call this rural. There ain't no 1,000-acre plots out here. Just because it's a dirt road don't mean it's rural. The reason this road is still dirt is because the people here don't want traffic running down through here. It is the rural character. These are 10-acre lots. There's now I grew up out here, so some of these properties may have changed hands or whatever over the years. We haven't lived out here for a long time, but you know, most of these lots out here, oh yeah, you look around, you're on a dirt road, you're out in the middle of the woods, but you almost can't even go take a leak in your own yard without having to worry about your neighbors taking a look and calling the cops. I mean, what, public indecency because I had to piss in my yard? No, I don't think so. Peeping Tom? Yeah. Well, what are you doing staring at me? Yeah, well, there's a house over there now that wasn't there years ago. You know, there was a plot down here. There was a massive plot down here that was once up for sale, and it was like 580 acres or something like that. All right, that's big enough for a reasonable, like, small dairy farm. You're not going to run a full-on cattle farm on 500 acres. You might be able to run a dairy farm and manage a couple hundred head of cattle that you can milk every day on 500 acres. This ain't rural. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, I know that's what it feels like, and this is where I came from. And I'll tell you right now, you look around and all you see is woods, but you start looking, you get to know a little dirt road like this right here, and there's 40 houses out here on this little dirt road. And it ain't 2 miles long. It ain't rural. It's got a rural character. I mean, that one right there, that's the one I grew up in. 8 to 16 years old, right there in that house. How many times I got poison ivy up here and one of these old cedar trees that finally died. But that's the house that built me, Miranda. It is what it is. Had black neighbors. Me and Tristan and Justin, we got along. I mean, I ain't ever intentionally treat nobody different. It was what it was. I mean, there was some beef between my stepdad and their family because my stepdad was, old school racist or whatever. But I never, I grew up in that. And I get it, man. You want to live somewhere where you feel like you in the middle of nowhere. This is a great place to be. But you ain't in the middle of nowhere. There ain't much out here that's got looks like they're cutting in a whole freaking subdivision back there. They done subdivided a 50-acre lot. Now this corner up here on the right, it used to be a massive plot of land that was up for sale. And it was over 500 acres. It is what it is. A lot of this stuff out here used to be trees. They did a clear cut and some thin cut a few years back. But yeah, I understand this right here. It feels like you're in the middle of nowhere, but you're not. This is not some South Georgia peanut town where you got people that are buying land by the square mile. If you buy land by the acre, you are not rural. If you buy land by the acre, you are nowhere near rural, okay? I mean, this is South Fulton County. We're south of 92 out here, so you can hunt deer with a firearm. And there's a couple of properties out here that might be safe to do so. But a lot of the properties out here ain't safe for that. A lot of the properties out here, you would have to hunt with a bow. Looks like somebody bought up that big couple 100-acre chunk, broke it down to 10 or 14 10-acre lots that they're trying to sell off, probably trying to get back all the money on the land. And, you know, oh, well, I bought it, so now if you want your piece, you got to pay for mine. So I'm going to sit on, 400 acres over here, and y'all are going to pay for it by buying 140 of them. Yeah, get over yourself. Get real. I get making a little bit of a profit. I get having to have money. I get all that. But no, there is no reason some folks buying some 10-acre plots ought to be paying for 500 acres of land. Now, keep it rural. 10 acres is not rural. That's rural character. It's suburb. It is true suburb. You want to see rural, go out to a South Georgia peanut farm. Go up to a Montana fucking cattle ranch. All right? This is not rural. Just because you ain't seen a gas station. There's a gas station out here in a little unincorporated town. Town's called Roscoe. Used to know the owner. She was a great lady. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. I'm sure that Miss Betty's long dead now, but, you got so many fools out here. Keep it looking rural, keep it feeling rural, makes sense. Trying to say keep it rural, no, man. Either side of the road right here, you ain't getting far without running into a house. You ain't gonna get out there and walk for no 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I mean, maybe in some of the thicker parts, you might walk 20 or 30 minutes without crossing the property line, because you got to go way down into a valley, through the creek, whatever. But you also got to understand, when you live out here, yeah, your housing density drops from 1 person per 2 acres, which is the average for my county, my area of the county. It's more like 3 people an acre. And in the more rural part of the county, which, technically this is kind of one of the most rural parts of the county, but it's Metro Atlanta. These people, their power goes out, they're out of power for a week. Hurricane comes through, something like that, and there's power outages everywhere. Power's out for a week or more. And there's still a couple thousand people out here, don't get me wrong. It is what it is, it ain't what it ain't. Like, bruh, y'all can't be trying to twist words and make them mean what you want them to mean. That is not the way the world works. All right? To be truly rural, I done passed, just on this road, I done passed another 35 houses that I could see. And I've been 3 or 4 miles up the road. Yeah, some of these places are sitting on 20, 30 acres. Oh, that's a new one. There used to be a different house up there, but that house itself is new. That's the whole thing. There's another house right there. You can't see it. You can see a mailbox, though. This ain't rural. If you want rural, you're going miles between mailboxes. That's rural. Rural character, I'll give it. And I understand why these people want it to stay the way it is. Welcome to Roscoe. This is my town. I understand why they want it to stay the way it is. I fully understand why they want it to stay the way it is. Because they don't want to have their neighbors shoved up their butt. But come on now. Trying to call it rural. You're literally trying to reapply a definition. You're trying to change the definition of a word to make it fit what you want it to mean. Now, this is a rural character. And as much as I hate to say it, I heard that term from a politician. And I don't much care for politicians, but that's probably the most honest statement I've ever heard come out of a politician's mouth, is that they wanted to keep the rural character. And I get that. Nothing like feeling, safe and whatever in your little home. There's like 5 houses right there. Y'all can't see them because they're, 100 yards off the road, but if that. But you know what? The county ain't letting nobody build up against the road right now because they know this right here is a highway. This is a legitimate highway. And it might be 100 years. It might be 200 years, but that progress is coming. And those houses, if they're too close to the road, then the government's going to have to buy the houses along with the land that they're taking for the road. And they're taking that land, whether you want them to or not. You can't stop progress. You can slow it down. And I get it. I get it. How long till the North Georgia mountains have been freaking leveled out and become breadbasket plains, and they've taken the rubble and filled in the swamp down in South Georgia? Because that's what's going to happen. That's a reality of what's going to happen. Well, there's 20 houses right there. There's a whole subdivision right there. This is not rural. What do you mean keep it rural? You got emissions, you got all this other stuff. And these are the same people that are going to wind up, a lot of them already are, whining, crying, and complaining that the man that they decided to elect as a president is going to be screwing them over just like he said he would. And I'm not the only one that's talking about this right there. There's 7 or 8 houses right there. Rural, my foot. No, this is not rural. This is suburbs. And this is what's happened to country music right here. Is people from the suburbs want to call themselves country. That's why they put so much hip hop in country. And I ain't got nothing against the music itself. What I got something against is the fact that they're trying to call it country, because it ain't country. It's suburban hip hop. That's what it is. Nothing wrong with suburban hip hop. But I can tell you right now, the people that are living down in South Georgia peanut farms and, like I say, some of these Montana ranches and stuff like that, they got no interest in all that. They don't feel them songs. Right? And the problem is it's getting to the point where you got everybody wanting to move to a place like this and act like it's the city that they came from. And they want to bring the city out into the country. And this ain't even the country. I mean, it's kind of country, but it's suburban. All right? It's suburbs. You ain't 20 minutes from nowhere. I mean, I'd rather live, about 5 minutes from, I'd blow my fucking brains out if I lived there, I mean, that's where I want to be. The middle of nowhere, left alone. Right? That's what a lot of these people, they want that feeling. They want to feel like they're in the middle of nowhere, but they don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. But they want to call it the middle of nowhere. I'm sorry, all right? It don't work like that. Reality bites. Reality is, this is suburbs, all right? Like, literally. Now, I've cut a couple of miles of travel out, a couple of street signs, whatever. I have cut some footage out. But I have gone, I'm running, not even 15 minutes at this point into this film. And I'm just showing y'all around a little bit where I'm from. And I'm about to be stopping at a gas station that didn't even exist. There wasn't even a stop sign here when I was a kid. Much less I think the one church, not the one that you can't see, but the one you can see. I think that building was there. I'm going to stop right here at this gas station for a minute. But it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. This ain't rural. Y'all gotta quit. Y'all really, really gotta quit acting like you can just take a word and apply a new meaning to it, and it's gonna take on that meaning. You know, they're doing that with the Constitution. Y'all wonder what's wrong with this country? People are teaching their children. People are literally teaching their children. People are literally teaching their children that they can take the United States Constitution and make it say whatever they want it to say. And that's not the way it works. Right? You don't get to just say that, yeah, suddenly I want this to mean this and that to mean that and the other to mean the other, and have it suddenly mean something new. It don't work like that. So, no, this ain't the middle of nowhere. I'm not 5 minutes from one of the busiest schools in the entire county. This ain't rural.